y'all, it's time for another Real Deal review. I recently, let me be honest, not so recently received this from Influencer and Philosophy to review, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So this is their Hope in a Jar Night edition. If you're familiar with Philosophy, they have a lot of products labeled Hope in a Jar or something hope. But anyway, this is one of the newer additions in their night line, and it's the Deep Hydration and Glow Overnight Mask with Glycolic acid and Grafted Hyaluronic acid. So this is a mask that you use at night. And what I'm going to be doing in this Real Deal review is doing a 7-night test. So tonight is night 1, and I'll use this for 7 days straight, and we will see how it works. So it comes in this really nice, y'all, this jar is heavy. It's made out of, feels like it's made out of glass, but nice substantial jar. This little protective thing off, and here's what it looks like. It has essentially no scent, which is awesome, and you just apply all over face and neck, and it can be used at night without rinsing. In the morning, you follow your normal routine. So I am going to put this on my face and bring my notes closer because now I can't see anything. But just gonna put this, kind of dot this on my face. In terms of ingredients, I don't have them on this jar. I'll put them on the screen, maybe somewhere here. But I can tell you that the first 5 ingredients in this night mask are all emollients. They're all moisturizers. But in terms of other highlights for brightening and antioxidant purposes, we have ascorbic acid, we have adenosine, a cell communicating agent, which is supposed to promote healing and repair. And then we have several ingredients that are skin identical. They're identical to things that are already found in your skin. Glycerin, which we talk about a lot on this channel. Squalene, sodium PCA, sodium hyaluronate, which is the salt form of hyaluronic acid, our skincare superstar ingredient that we see in a lot of different things, as well as hyaluronic acid itself. I'm not sure, honestly, what grafted hyaluronic acid means, but I will come back midweek. I'm going to come back midweek and do an update, and we will talk about what that actually means. I'll do some research. But yes, hyaluronic acid. And then for soothing purposes, we have an ingredient I've never heard of before, bisabolol. Y'all see it here. Which is an active ingredient in chamomile, which is pretty common for soothing purposes. People drink it in tea for that reason. And it has anti-inflammatory properties. And then there is allantoin. Y'all, I'm sorry for butchering these names. Allantoin from the comfrey plant, which evidently is more common of an ingredient than we think. It's normally in its synthetic form, though. So those are kind of the highlights. And of course, further down in the ingredient list is glycolic acid, which is an alpha hydroxy acid for exfoliating and buffering purposes to help with the pH in the product. But we'll talk more about glycolic acid and grafted HA midweek once I've done a little more research. So at first application, for whatever reason, I feel like it tingles just a tiny bit. I don't know if that has something to do with the glycolic acid, but it's not irritating or anything at all. My face feels plump and it feels moist. Yeah, so you guys, I can't see myself. You can. So y'all tell me if my face has any kind of marked difference from when we first started. I am going to obviously sleep with this mask on. And I guess I'll come back in the morning and let you all know what it looks like before I hop in the shower, and we will go from there. All right, y'all, it's the next day. I have not washed my face yet, but here's what my skin looks like. It seemed to have so far minimized the appearance of my pores. We'll see what happens when I wash, but my face still feels soft and supple and not greasy or oily or anything like that. The best way I can describe it is that my skin feels balanced. I can't say anything just overly remarkable just yet, but it's not bad either. Hey y'all, I am back as promised with an update on the Hope in a Jar overnight mask. So far, I have seen a little bit of a noticeable difference in the softness of my skin, as well as it feeling plump and alive, for lack of a better word. So far I can say that it's been pretty effective. Also, I promised to get back to you guys on the grafted hyaluronic acid and glycolic acid. So on the grafted HA, gotta have my notes here, almost everything I found information wise was scientific journals, which A, I don't have a ton of access to, and B, I'm not that smart. I'm smart, but not that smart. So everything I'm about to tell you, kind of take it with a grain of salt. But basically, we know what hyaluronic acid is. It's a molecule, actually a polymer, that is found naturally occurring in your skin that binds to water and holds on to it like a sponge. Basically, this molecule can hold on to up to 1,000 times its weight in water. It's a really, really big molecule. So when you put it on the outside of your face, it doesn't really absorb much into it because it's huge, but it does form a protective barrier on the outside of your skin. And apparently it also has some properties that allow it to help push other ingredients deeper into the skin via osmosis. In terms of grafted HA, what I found is that hyaluronic acid can either have other ingredients or other substances, for lack of a better word, grafted to it, or it can be bound to other things just to modify its properties. So grafted HA is supposed to help with things like wound care, lubrication, improve its ability, basically, if you got two things that are rubbing together, reducing the friction between the two. So that's what I found so far in terms of layman's terms. Again, anybody that's sciencey out there, if you have more information that might be helpful, point me to it. I would be interested to hear. In terms of glycolic acid, that's a little bit more simple. Glycolic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid. So if you see AHA, it's a natural acid that is found in food. Like in this case, glycolic acid comes from sugarcane. And when used in skincare, they help to remove dead skin cells, also reverse sun damage, and just create a new surface there. One of the drawbacks of glycolic acid is that it can cause some sensitivity from that particular process, which is probably the tingling that I mentioned feeling. And without being under the care of the dermatologist, you're not really supposed to go above like 10% of it in a particular formulation. So just be careful with that. Also, you're going to want to let your skin get used to it, and you don't want to use it with topical retinoids or any other kind of rapid exfoliator like salicylic acid, which I think is found in a bunch of acne products. So that's what I found on the two ingredients that are prominently mentioned on the outside of the Hope in a Jar. Curiously though, HA is prominently displayed, but it's also the next to the last ingredient in the ingredient list. So I don't know that there's a ton of it in the product, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not effective. So do with that what you will. I'll come back in a couple of days and give you guys my final thoughts on Hope in a Jar. Hey y'all, I am back, albeit several weeks later, for my final verdict on the Hope in a Jar Deep Hydration and Glow Overnight Mask. So as far as my overall thoughts, I felt like it was effective. After using it for a week, I did see my skin appear visibly brighter and more plump and just more alive. That's the best way I can describe it. I did stop using it for a couple of weeks. I used it last night because I've been ill the last week, and I did see when I woke up this morning an immediate improvement in this area where I have been blowing my nose profusely for the past 5 days. And you know how your skin gets raw in that area. It really did help smooth that out and make it look and feel like I was less dead, okay? But in terms of whether I would buy this over again, so if you're a person that really needs that resurfacing effect, a gentle resurfacing effect that you're gonna get from the glycolic acid in this, in addition to the hydration, then this is a very good mask to buy. But if you just need hydration by itself, and perhaps you're using another exfoliant regularly that's working for you, you might find comparable products at a better price point. So this jar, how big is this jar? You get 2 ounces for $55. Now granted, I use products very judiciously, so it takes me forever and ever, amen, to get through a jar or a bottle of anything. But if you are more liberal with product, then you might go through something like this a little bit faster. Just bear that in mind. Like if you just need hydration, I've been using the Laneige water bank mask for years, and it's $32 a jar for about the same size. Now, granted, for some people that's gonna be a little bit on the upper end too, but again, it'll take you a while to get through that. So just bear that in mind. You can find this, of course, on Philosophy's website or Ulta or Sephora. I'll leave a code down in the description to my shelf, Shop My Shelf. Anytime that you shop through the links on Shop My Shelf, it does help me continue to do this at no cost to you. So yeah, you guys let me know, have y'all tried any other Philosophy products? Because they've been around for a long time. But let me know what y'all's thoughts are, and I'll be back soon for something else. So in the meantime, do what you love what you do, and keep hope alive. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.